Okay, welcome everyone to episode 2 of the Just Hash podcast.
Hey guys.
Today, it's myself and Figer going to talk to you today.
Yeah, we're missing half the team at the moment. We're not entirely sure where they've gone, but we've got us.
We had a good plan going into it, and I think we can execute. So let's see if we can pull this off.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad.
So, based on our conversation last week, we talked about trying to brighten up the conversations about crypto. Right? We talked about um, the debacle with the Bitcoin Latina issues, and we talked about the node stuff. So we discussed trying to change course and talk briefly about the positive things that the crypto community can do. This week, we're going to talk about coins that have a cause and purpose behind them. So we'll be talking about Turtle Coin, Pink Coin, and they'll be answering any questions from any of you that are out there listening today.
And also Veggie Coin.
I didn't say Veggie Coin. I meant to say Veggie Coin, because Veggie Coin is a personal favorite of our good friend Eli's.
Alrighty, where do you want to start?
You should just start with kind of what's the purpose of crypto, right? So, in my opinion, I think crypto's got a couple different categories where they fall into, right? So we have the categories of cryptocurrencies with Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin. Those kind of things are kind of paving the way and bringing interest into the crypto community. Category of coins, like security tokens that have a utility purpose, like Ripple, LM, Lumens, and some of the other things. So I think that category of coins kind of has its own set, unique purpose and interest.
Yeah, that's not a bad start. In my opinion, cryptocurrency, it's been to me a very decentralized network. That's what I've always seen from it. A lot of coins do follow that, with the exception of Ripple, from as far as I know of, because they're more centralized banking. But cryptocurrency in general, every coin has a purpose pretty much. If it doesn't, it's not worth anything for the majority of people. It doesn't get a worth, it doesn't make anything, it's forgotten about.
So the first coin we want to talk about is Turtle Coin. And what is the purpose of Turtle Coin for the community? Do you have any thoughts on that, Figer?
No, I honestly haven't been able to find a major purpose for Turtle Coin or what their direction is. It just, yeah, at the moment seems to be more of a meme coin. They've got a bit of a story up on their page, and yeah, there's no aim to it, pretty much.
So, understanding of Turtle Coin and talking to some of the people that are mining it currently, behind Turtle Coin is that it doesn't really have a purpose at all. Interesting fact about it is that it's just a coin put together by a group of guys with beards, which is kind of a unique point to point out for them. Coin and tokens around turtles, specifically the Teenage Mutant Turtles. They have a lot of references to that. Are you're very interested in that kind of culture and thing, and that's great. They have something that's funny for people to kind of to collect and trade. Kind of reminds me of like Pogs back in the day, or Pokemon cards or something like that. It's something to just trade and have fun with.
Yeah, that's not a bad start. I actually haven't noticed any of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle quotes until I, yeah, once see they've got a quote from one of them on the webpage now. I can see that. But yeah, the background part, the main point is that they all have beards. They get plus 10 XP to chin stroking abilities, and yeah, there's nothing exciting about it.
So it's funny, right? It's supposed to be funny. They're bringing people
Yep.
into the coin and just joking around it and goofing around with it. And the references to Splinter and some of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff is interesting, and you get a laugh, right? And so there's other coins out there that do the same kind of thing. You just kind of get a laugh and get people to enjoy. Us are caught up in the how many coins can we get to the next master node, or how much is this token worth, or this coin worth, or whatever, and forget about this is just for fun, and that's okay.
Yeah, it's perfectly fair.
So
Have you?
there are other. Go ahead.
Sorry, no, you go ahead. I'm good.
I think there are other coins out there that exist like that. I know that a few months ago, actually, I think it was last month, I was on Cryptopia and I noticed the Trump coin popped up on the marketplace. And now a lot of people are buying Trump coin because that was like the thing to do, right? And everybody was trying to trade it and talk about it. And there was a whole little community around it. And then not more than 24 to 48 hours, no Trump coin popped up. And then it was kind of this race to see price wars, and people were bickering back and forth between the no Trump coin and then the Trump coin. So, that just one example that I was involved with to kind of watch the interest of that. Ultimately, the no Trump coin won. For those of you that are interested, the Trump coin went down to about 100 sats, and just kind of I think it's still sitting there. If you want to pull up the current stats on Cryptopia, it's not. Last I checked, it wasn't doing very well. There's just not a lot of interest in that. But there are lots of other gun coins, another one, and ganja coin and some other stuff like that is those coins that have unique interest to them, but not a lot of utility or purpose.
I feel like that's becoming a reoccurring theme in crypto in general, to be honest. There's a lot of coins out there that some of them do have a purpose, definitely, but a lot of them are just there for the meme, pretty much. A lot of coins don't have much of a direction, they're just there purely for the fun of it, for shits and giggles.
So, and that's kind of the purpose of this week's chat, right? We start with Turtle Coin to kind of talk about coins without a purpose still have a purpose. They serve a role in the community. They fit in with the greater crypto good, in my opinion. And I think that even though they don't really have a point other than to be fun, it still is a point. It's bringing interest in and kind of fun to play around with and research the different coins.
Yeah.
Some of the bigger coins do have purpose and are working on legitimate processes and projects and great things for the crypto community. And some of them aren't, and that's okay.
I think a lot of the meme coins are also there to help bring in outsiders to the cryptocurrency world. A lot of people, especially Bitcoin, it's everyone knows about it but don't really know what it is. If they can find something that they can relate to on a more personal level, say, for example, Turtle Coin, someone might really like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that might just bring them into crypto. So I suppose they do have kind of a purpose.
So I can honestly say I haven't mined any Turtle Coin. I don't. Have you at all?
No, I haven't.
Well, I mean, I like the idea. Like if someone did like a Simpsons coin or a South Park coin or something like that, you could see the connections with brand marketing and kind of how this could, be another arm of a social media campaign or a marketing campaign in the future to come, where somebody goes out and has their own cryptocurrency that ties into the thing and get a fan base behind it. And that coin may pop to like $2 or $3 and people trade it and think it's cool. And, other people jump on the train and try and pump it or whatever, just because they like the theme that goes along with it.
Yeah, it's fair.
So I think going on that line, another member who's going to pop in here and start talking with us in just a few minutes. So if we can, if there's any questions out there for the community that have about the coins we're talking about today, or any interest in general from the community, we're more willing to answer any questions, and you kind of go through whatever is kind of thoughts around your mind as we talk about the coins of the cause this week.
Yeah, just drop any questions you have down into the chat channel on the Discord.
Really, I think it's just you, me, and one other person listening right now. So we probably could be doing this all for our YouTube friends.
Oh yes, that's true as well.
So the next coin that we're getting ready to talk about is Veggie Coin, and I know that it has a special place in the heart of Eli, who's our other contributor that talks to us regularly, and also probably you, Figer.
What was that, sorry? Yes, Veggie Coin. Yeah, it affects me partially, yeah, because it's Australian based.
Unique, I think, that we haven't come across a lot of coins that are solely built on Veggie Coin, or on Australia, I'm sorry. And the team, I think it's a brother team, right? That's building the coin.
Yeah, as far as I know, it's yeah, a pair of brothers that are building it. Yeah, it's the first coin I've ever seen that's entirely Australian based, which is pretty unique, I believe. Yeah, there most likely is another one, but Veggie Coin is becoming major to some extent. What are your thoughts on Veggie Coin?
So I think that on Veggie Coin, it's interesting to me. First and foremost, is that they have a cause, and I'll let Eli go into that in a minute when he pops on here in a second to talk more about the cause for the coin. But for me, that's the algo, right? So it's got a unique algorithm that we don't really see a lot of. So the algorithm is HMQ1725. It's a CC miner algorithm,
So does that mean you
and
can only?
it's
Sorry, does that mean you can only solely mine it with CC miner?
I think that's the main miner for it. I'm sure other things that also work with CC miner or like CC miner would also work on that. But that algorithm is, we don't talk about all that coins. There you go. I focus on NeoScript coins or Equihash coins, and then we also focus on, obviously the ETH coins. Um, well, that's a great to kind of have a different algorithm out there.
It is rather unique, and one of the selling points I've been finding is that their coin is more user friendly to just general users, like anyone with a desktop computer can mine it, and it's more resistant to traditional mining rig methods. I believe that's all because of the algorithm that it's based on.
That well, I think one of the big things that when we talked about with the devs is that they wanted it to be able to be CPU mined, so that everyone can contribute, right? So the idea I think was that you could use this, throw on the back of your daily use computer or your work computer, kind of just let it go. Um, the coin. And the purpose behind the coin is to raise funds. A portion of the block reward is sold off and goes to helping specific animals in need.
Yeah, so I do believe the blocks themselves are split up into 50 coins, and 40 goes to the miners, and 10 goes to a community trust fund, pretty much. And every month, they cash out and go to a shelter of need and donate vegetables for the animals.
And I think that's fantastic, right? So yeah, you're having actual purpose behind it that miners can contribute their hash power towards and also receive some benefit from, right? Because they can still trade their portion that they receive.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's kind of like a dev fee that is split between the actual developers and then what they want to use it for, which is charity. And I think that there's been some actual use cases on their website. You can kind of see some of the things that they're using this block reward for. I don't know the exact specific numbers on it, but I do know that there was an instance where they cashed out a portion of it and went and bought dog food for a local shelter.
Yeah, they don't know how often. I'm pretty sure it's monthly. But they've been putting up YouTube videos of them actually going and feeding or donating to the shelters, and it's entirely transparent. It's something you don't see in a lot of modern charities. Yeah, the community fund, it's entirely viewable by the public, as is any blockchain. It's it's entirely open. Everyone can see when it's being cashed out. They advertise. It's also entirely community based. The shelter gets a donation is voted for by the entire community, and that's truly unique. It's not that means it can't be biased per se to one local shelter as opposed to the rest of Australia.
And that's, I think that's fantastic. You have that community involvement, which, I talked about last week, right? If you don't have the community support behind you, your coin isn't going to take off. And I think they have a great cause behind them with the animal friendly, helping out, animals in need. And they have, you know, examples of how they're actually using this. So I think that in the future, Veggie Coin, if they can continue down this path, will be very successful in their endeavors and can be a great example for those that come behind them that want to build coins off of other. In America, we have the ASPCA, which works with animals in shelters. There's PETA, which is another organization that is obviously against eating meat and fur and all those other kind of things. So organizations, if they put a larger weight behind a coin, a smaller coin like Veggie Coin, and kind of give one of those national or global brand recognized names or ties to it, that you could really something like this to the next level.
Yeah, it's definitely a strong thing that they can aim for, and I definitely believe it's a future that they can strive to achieve, and it's definitely achievable. I don't believe that they do anything outside of Australia at the moment, but yeah, as it grows, it will definitely expand.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? So a coin like Veggie Coin, it's just in its infancy stages. We can those of us that are interested in that can get involved early and can have a vested stake in seeing the coin succeed. Because really, ultimately, it's us as miners that help the coins succeed or fail. The community that's around the coin succeed or fail. And I know that the devs are always active on their Discord. They're always willing to answer questions and help people out. They're very very great people when it comes to discussions that are coined. They're not like some of the examples that we talked about last week. It's the complete opposite with these guys.
Yeah, these guys really got something going for them. And I do believe, as the ANN announcement on the Bitcoin talk, it was early December, so they should be having their 4-month birthday very shortly as well. So they're definitely lasting a lot longer than some cryptocurrencies that I've seen. I've seen also a good chunk that haven't launched at all, but they've definitely got something going for them. Very active, very involved and influenced by the community, which is really what you'd want to see with a charity fund.
And I think I saw that one of the devs says he doesn't sleep, which could be why he's up around the clock to talk to people.
Barney does not sleep. Every time I ever try to talk to him, he is always awake, which it's pretty crazy.
He lives.
I
Welcome,
do.
Eli.
Thank you. It was a failed alarm clock that pretty much screwed me up, and then I had some technical difficulties with the audio, but I'm here, finally.
So I've been recording for you, but what are your opinions on Veggie Coin?
I think they have a good cause. I think the developers are true to the cause, and that's what ultimately makes me want to back them. They work very hard for what they do. They personally go out themselves and take the funds that are from the block reward of Veggie Coin, and that's what hits home with me.
We've also talked about the unique aspect of their algorithm. Do you have any thoughts on that?
It's the first time I've ever mined HMQ. What is it, 1756? Just off the top of my head.
1752.
52. There we go. I was close. Not quite. I don't know of any other coins that use that. Of course, I'm not familiar with that algorithm. I know it pushed me into using CC Miner, which I've not normally used because I normally mine Ethereum hash, so it was different. But the pull software also is very strange on that algorithm. I don't have a whole lot of experience there. It's just very strange to me.
Not familiar with that at all.
Do we have anything else to say about Veggie Coin?
What have we said about Veggie Coin?
So we've talked.
Sorry, Cav, you can go.
The use of the coin, right, and how people are active in their community, the algorithm that they have, and that they have a proven use case for their coin, right, where they've done YouTube videos where they've shown them going out feeding and helping the various animals. That's kind of what we talked about. We haven't talked so much about the dev side. I know you've kind of talked directly with some of their devs, and maybe you can share some of their insights and where they're looking to go forward.
You still here?
Or we
Still
can
with
just
us,
move
Eli?
on to our next coin.
Oh, there he goes. He's dropped out. Yeah, would you like to move on to the next coin, Cav? I might have dropped out too. That's not healthy.
Which is pink coin is our next.
Alrighty, well, we can't really understand Cav at the moment, just due to his, I don't know if it's his end or my end, but pretty much our next coin we're going to be talking about is Pink Coin. I actually don't know a lot about Pink Coin, to be honest. I was hoping Cav might be able to give some more insight, but,
Some more insight on what?
oh, Pink Coin in general. Yeah, what do you know about it? Have you, yeah, heard anything?
So Pink Coin is another one of those coins that has a charity purpose behind it. But Pink Coin's concept and the way that they're operating is much more evolved and advanced than the simple, block sharing concept. Multiple tiered approach to their coin process. They have, the standard proof of work that we're all kind of used to. And then they also have a proof of stake that kind of goes similar to what we think of as a masternode type system, but actually more in line with what we think of when we talk about burst, right? So you're locking away a portion of your pink coins in the hopes that you basically win a lottery to get a portion of those rewards. And the larger that you put away and kind of lock up determines how much of that you can earn back. So it's kind of passive mining, and I think that's why a lot of people are kind of interested in it. That's why I started taking a look at it. One way that I like to utilize my tokens that I'm trying to learn more about is using them in a way that can kind of earn residual funds. So masternode type things, and this staking concept that Pink the table is also kind of unique.
Yeah, that's fair. And I believe, well, in my opinion, the proof of stake coins, which, yeah, as you said, Pink Coin has a dual system with both proof of stake and proof of work. Proof of stake brings a whole other crowd, not necessarily miners, but people who are willing to invest and want to invest and have the money to invest, but still get extra on top of that. It really gives an incentive to bring people to them. And, sorry, do you want me to continue?
Go ahead.
What was that, sorry?
Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Sorry. So the Pink Coin is, the concept of it was founded back in 2014, which is fairly old for a cryptocurrency. But from there, last year, they've founded an organization which I'm willing to bet would be American-based, but they claim to be the world's first donation-based currency for helping people and organizations around the globe.
So based on my initial research is that they're still pursuing the 5013 or 501c3 status, which gives them the full tax exempt status here in the U.S. But yeah, that would be able to do that. And then also going back to how long they've kind of been around and hanging around. So if you read through their white paper, they talk about how they had this grand vision and concept that kind of got derailed, and then they picked themselves up from the ashes to continue on. Through the trials and tribulations of $2 Bitcoin and all these different things. So long time, and they've got a lot of support behind them, and they've kind of, so to speak.
Yeah, that's fair. And actually going through their white paper, part of their goal in, I believe, soon is to become more public and more public based as opposed to purely cryptocurrency. And so they're advertising to a larger crowd of people and are able to bring in more donations to help more people.
Yeah, and that's the thing with so you have a charity coin like this, right? You have to be able to bring in everybody who's interested in helping this cause, and I think that's really kind of where Pink's going with this. So they have two main pools that you can mine towards or mine with, right? The directive pool, and which covers humanitarian type aspects, covers some of their administrative fees, education efforts, relief efforts, those kind of things. Rainforest pool, which funds three different accounts: the rain cloud, what they call an elder tree, and then also provides acorns. And that's a hope that I haven't really started getting into or exploring it, but it's just very interesting to sold out and seem to have a well thought out plan for kind of how they are going forward with this.
Yeah, they've definitely got a unique system here with how they are doing their whole funding system. They've got, the way that they're saying it's got two different trees where one appears to be mainly the dev side and charity based side of things, whereas the other is more of the miners and their rewards. But they also say in here that when you donate Pink Coin for a donate for life system that they have going, it sits in a charity fund effectively, and it's staking forever. That's how they're bringing in more dev funds. So the more that's donated, the more that they get, and you can physically, well, not physically, but you can see where each of or what you're staking and where's it going.
Yeah, I think that's a brilliant concept, right? So you get people to donate the coin to one of their staking pools, and then it just earns basically residuals forever. And then they've kind of, if they build it up large enough, then they've got kind of a steady supply. As long as people are mining the coin, and as long as the coin is active, they've got a steady supply of funds that are constantly coming in, which is great.
Yeah, it's definitely something that a fair few cryptocurrencies, especially new ones, are missing, as we were discussing before.
Well, so it's an interesting take on the dev fee idea. So a lot of coins that we kind of mine, we talk about, have this dev fee concept, right? Where a portion of the block reward off the top. Some people are very against a dev fee that's too high to kind of pay for funds, right? But in this example, you have a dev fee that's donated that for the charity. So they scrape a little bit off of that, I think, for the fee, but a lot of it goes, most of it goes right back to the charity.
Yeah, that's right. And they don't just have one system, I suppose. I'm not really sure. They've got several different systems of how they're actually gathering coins. So effectively, the entire system gets 92,000 coins a day, but 20,000 of that comes from staking. 36,000 comes from flash staking, which I believe is a unique concept to Pinkcoin, and then the other 37,000 come from mining, or 36,000, sorry. And then in 2 years' time they'll halve that, but they've definitely got a unique system going for them.
So while my internet is gonna, work with me here, have we covered what charities that Pink actually donates to?
I don't believe we have, no.
Okay, do we have information on that?
So one of the charities, the obvious connection, right, to Pink Coin is the National Breast Cancer Foundation, right? So you think Pink breast cancer research that is going on. That's the big one that they fund too. The other one that's on their website is the Black Girls Code, and then Cardiac Kids in Toronto. So these guys are, if you look at a lot of their devs, they're Canadian based. So they do a lot of stuff with their kind of local stuff in Toronto.
Okay, I was reading over the white paper, or the pink paper, as they like to call it.
The Pink paper.
Exactly, and they didn't really cover what charities that they interact with, so I wanted to make that clear while we were on this topic.
So one of the things is disaster relief. They have an article, Houston SPCA, which kind of ties back to the Veggie Coin thing we talked about earlier. You're helping animals in disaster type situations.
Awesome.
I mean, it's really kind of, in my opinion, overlooked. That disaster relief, obviously, we take care, we want to take care of everyone that's infected, involved. Sometimes the animals kind of get left to the side, and a lot of groups kind of put that to the side. The SPCA's and the shelters are the ones that are left to kind of pick up the slack on that. So having something that you can directly donate to that helps the animals aspect of this out is phenomenal.
So this just kind of covers the general aspect of crypto and charities in general. What are y'all's thoughts on more organizations being involved with crypto in the charity realm?
I think it'd bring a whole new realm to it almost. A lot of people, it's one thing going to a charity fund and giving them money. It's another thing being able to see where you're sending the money to and being able to see every transaction from that address. You don't really get that kind of thing with main charity funds. You can't see their bank records, and that's fair. But on a blockchain, goes to one address, you can see everything that happens to it, where all your money's going, see if it's even worth it.
So there's the other side of that coin, though, right? Is the aspect of it that you don't want. There's a perception with some cryptocurrencies that it can be very scammy, right? So you don't want a charity coin to kind of pop up and be scammy and say that they're, helping raise money for veterans groups or for animals or for homeless people, and then to kind of just run off with all that money, because then that really puts a horrible taint and shade on what all these other coins are trying to do. And there's the potential that the perception could be these ICOs are popping up and finding a new avenue approach to kind of get money out of people. And that's something that, we have to be careful for and watch out going forward with these types of coins.
I've got one more general question. So, just charities in general, do you think that they will be apt to adopt cryptocurrency in the future moving forward, or do you think that the cryptocurrencies themselves are going to have to do the legwork? I guess what I'm saying is, say for example, you just have a general coin, and they want to donate their coin to a charity. Do you think the charities are actually going to
accept that?
Yeah, accept it and learn what to do with it, or do you think they're just going to be more apt to, hey, I want you to cash this, or exchange this into fiat, then we'll go from there? But
so I think we've gotten to the point now where charities can accept stocks and mutual funds and property and tangible goods in some instances from estates. Yeah, and I think that cryptocurrency is just another extension of that, right? So you have someone that wants to donate a portion of their estate to X charity, and a portion of that happens to be tied up in cryptocurrencies, and they get 300 Ethereum thrown at that charity, and then it's up to the charity to decide what to do with it. If they're going to cash it out, or they're going to sell half of it and keep other for profit, and see if it goes up in value. I think we're not too far off from that being a reality. I think there's this opportunity in organizations or companies that kind of can network with charities and kind of explain what cryptocurrency is and how the blockchain can benefit them. If people want to donate, a Chroma or Pearl or Ethereum or Litecoin to, 4-H or the VFW or, any of these other types of organizations out there. And they say, well, we don't know what to do with this. And then we help them. We figure out how to help them do something with it.
I personally think that a lot of the older charities are going to be more reluctant to want to join any cryptocurrencies. There's just I find a lot of companies are very set in their ways, and it's something not necessarily brand new, but it's very unknown. It's not common to see any businesses or anything accepting cryptocurrency unless they're based purely on them, I've been finding. There's a couple of examples where some companies have started to accept them, but I think might be another couple of years before we see mainstream charities start to accept your basic cryptocurrencies.
Well, I think it goes back to someone taking a risk. I mean, if I have a charity out there and I'm willing to take what anybody will give me at some point, if it helps, if I can use it in a way to help my cause, then I'm certainly not going to turn it down. I mean, I may not know exactly what it is or how to use it in the case of cryptocurrency, but if it's something that it has value to somebody else, then it's something that I can use to help my cause. I think I would be willing to accept it, but that's just from my perspective.
Do you think that charities will ever utilize blockchain technology, for example, IPFS or something like that, from a coin that actually implements that technology?
What was the question, sorry?
Do you think that charities will ever utilize blockchain technology advancements like IPFS, like for example something like Pearl's doing, where they can store files and content on the chain?
I don't believe they will, unless, for example, Pinkcoin. I don't think a lot of them will. I reckon, maybe eventually they'll accept cryptocurrency, but I don't believe that they'll make or accept a blockchain to be implemented unless they're purely based on them in the first place.
I think they can kind of latch on to the brand, use their brand to latch on to one of these cryptocurrencies such as Pink or Veggie Coin. Like PETA is a perfect example to kind of get tied in with Veggie Coin, right? All about the animals and welfare animals. And I don't know the personal stances on vegetarianism or that kind of thing with Veggie Coin, but I think that if they threw it behind that and kind of said, hey, you can mine this coin and a portion of that will get donated to us, I think that would help a lot, right? You see a lot of people having much more interest in their coin, and you see a much greater increased hash rate for their coin because it goes to something that's known, right? So anytime you have a national or large charity like that that's known and kind of throws their attachments to one of these coins, I think you're just going to see it take off and skyrocket.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think of that one.
All right, I think that's all the general questions I have on charities and crypto.
So I think at this point in our chat, we will throw it over to the audience for any questions that we may have on the coins with a cause discussion this week. So I just want to say that my is staring at me while I have this podcast with you all today. His name is Oliver, and he's a Pembroke Welsh Corgi, and he's very interested in the Veggie Coin aspect and how it can benefit him and his friends. And he's super cute.
Meanwhile, my cat sleeps in a video card box.
I can't even have.
Most of us
pets
are
here.
animal lovers, except for Figer, who has pet spiders.
Yeah, the spiders count too. They're still animals.
That's creepy, man. I'm not trying to be,
You don't want to be
biased
that guy.
towards any animal, but of course you are from Orange Dirt, Australia, and I mean, I don't know what else I would expect.
Well, yeah. Well,
So-
next best thing is a snake. Sorry, we're going off topic here.
We give you a lot of crap, but I think it's pretty cool that you can have a kangaroo and a wallaby as a friend. I'm just saying.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
Like, legit question: are those actually prominent where you live, or
Yes, yes, just not as pets. You can't really keep them as pets. They're very difficult to keep as pets. You can definitely adopt some that are injured, which might be a future for Veggie Coin if they're looking for that realm of things. But it's not. They're very prominent around here, just not as pets.
So I
so in
think
other words,
we have a good idea for a coin for you, Figer. We can develop the kangaroo coin to help all of the injured kangaroos in Australia.
We might have to develop a bull bar that doesn't, knock them out on hit. A lot of them end up on the road. A lot of kangaroos end up on the road and not very alive, usually for long.
good
Let's-
grief.
Yeah, we really need something to
I mean,
fix
it's
that.
very similar problem that we have with our deer population here, although we go out and hunt those.
So, yeah, I didn't think it was that, or didn't know it was that prominent where you could just, wake up, look out your window, and bam, kangaroo. Which is like,
It is not as common here in a city, but definitely the more rural that you get, or red dirt as you'd like to call it, it's definitely becoming a lot more common to just look out your window and say, oh, kangaroo.
So if we transition away from crypto and to our cultural awareness class on Australia,
Naturally.
yes, we had.
We were talking about Veggie Coin earlier, and it's Australian based. It's kind of the same realm of things. But do we have anything else for the podcast today?
Figer wants to be done with our inane questions about his homeland.
I was just sorry. Yeah, I can just picturing a scenario in my head where I wake up, I'm middle of nowhere in Australia, look out my window, and bam, kangaroo, and it's just freaking hilarious.
Someday we'll have to go out and visit our good friend Figer.
I'll get right on that.
Well, when Hotel Bite and Chroma pop to $100 tokens, I think we'll be able to afford it.
In about 10 years, maybe.
End of the quarter.
That's a very optimistic outlook there.
I'm calling it. A Chroma hits 100 by the end of quarter 2 FY18. Your stake on it, although I'm not an investment professional, don't ever do that at all. I'm just joking. It's just a joke.
Don't take anything that we say here professionally.
Or as the truth at all. So with that being said, if we don't have anything else to talk about today or any questions from the gallery, I think that we will wrap it up today.
Again, apologies for the late intro and the hardware problems.
So at this point, I think the second podcast is only getting better from the first one. Next week is going to be even better. So I think Fat has offered to volunteer to talk to us next week. So if you're interested in hearing or listening to Fat pontificate on the world of crypto, you definitely want to tune in to next week's episode.
And do we have a general theme for next week's episode to think about?
I think it's just going to be random questions for Fat is going to be next week's, general theme. That sounds like a good idea to me. Anyone object?
Like that idea. Well, if you've got any questions for him, just chuck them down in the either the comments or just contact one of us directly, and we'll get a list for him.
So, I mean, at this point, he's obviously going to be one of the biggest names that we've ever had on this show. So,
and I can guarantee almost all of you will just blankly have no idea what we're on about.
No, none whatsoever. So with that, we'll talk to y'all next week.
Alrighty, see you. Thanks for coming.
See ya.